So I'm excited. The sister gave me her login because she wants me to watch Hamilton.
Nice. That's the weird thing for me about, what the hell just happened? Oh, oops, I fucked up something. Anyways, that's one of the weird things to me about Disney Plus is there's a lot of good stuff on there, but I still can't justify paying for it. And it's not even the most expensive subscription service out there. So, yeah. Everyone else I know, by the way, for those of you listening, some of you who might say something, you guys are mooching accounts, so if you're using someone else's account, you don't care enough about Disney Plus. Just saying, before you go out there and be like, Disney Plus is great! I know how many of you motherfuckers are using someone's account that's listening to this right there, so fuck you.
Oh, I'm totally doing that. Like, I was not going to pay for it.
Yeah, no. I just know that there's some people on Facebook that are going to be like, I love Disney Plus. I'll be like, yeah, that's your name? That's your name on the account? Good job, idiot. But, yeah. How's your week, Mallory?
Right. Oh, it's good. Long hours at work. You know, taking up all of my time at this point. I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Totally messed me up when they stop, spoiler, when they do the shift. I'm not really going to say it, but when they do the shift, totally messed me up.
Uh-huh.
Like, what? I do not like Dio. Dio can, go away forever and never come back into my life. Ever.
Well,
I didn't really play anything this week, just because I haven't really had time. I did play a little bit of Pokemon Go, but not enough to, make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's been about my week.
Alrighty, Mr. Josh.
Right, so how far did you get into JoJo?
I'm on season... Hold on.
There's a guest
Evan.
in the background. But, it's all good.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're good. Anyways, guys, today's sponsor, if you're listening to your podcast and you don't want someone to just walk up on you like that, you can check out our sponsor today.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
We're halfway through Crusaders.
Oh, Stardust Crusaders. Okay.
Yeah, Stardust Crusaders.
Okay.
So.
I see.
But yeah, I hate Dio.
And you hate Dio. And you hope he never comes back.
You're going to be really disappointed if you actually hope that, Mallory. I hope that's a joke, because you probably should just stop watching.
I really hope he never comes back, but, he did come back earlier, so who knows?
He can maybe just stop watching the entire show. Because literally everyone else goes away except for him. I mean, almost.
Oh, no!
But anyways,
yeah, okay.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, it became Josh's week, and then it became Mallory's week again, and then now it's Josh's week.
Oh, I just really, I gotta know. I was like, watching JoJo's? Tell me more. Yeah, well, aside from asking her about where she is in JoJo, last week was actually really busy for me in regards to work, but, have been continuing, finally got some time to keep pushing through the Blue Lions playthrough on Fire Emblem, so making some progress there.
Good.
Finally beat X4 as 0.
Nice.
That was fun.
Do you plan on going through it again?
So many years. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to get, pretty good at it to the point where, maybe I could beat the game in a fucking day. So, yeah. See what the fuck else. I've been hanging out with some friends on Discord, watching them stream their Dark Souls 3 playthroughs. That's been pretty interesting. I think aside from that, yeah, I haven't really watched much of anything. Yeah, okay. That pretty much does it for me, I think.
Alright. For me, More Deadly Premonition 2, I think I'm at I'm still at basically the beginning, maybe the fourth of the way through, and I'm at 15 hours already. So there's that. That's the thing I tell people is the games I play take up a lot of time. My average Yakuza playthrough is about 80 to 120 hours. Deadly Premonition 1, about 80 hours. most games I play, probably over 80 hours at least. So typically when I do play a game, it usually takes a while. I think Judgment was like right exactly at 80. So most games I play kind of take a long time. So they're good stuff though. I mean, Deadly Premonition 2's had like a couple patches now. I still, from when I was playing the launch build, I still don't see... I do and I don't. I get what Jim and Digital Foundry were talking about when it comes to performance issues, but I don't, or maybe it's because I played it recently. I don't know if Jim, he bought it on Switch, but I don't know if he played it a lot on Switch. But I played Deadly Premonition 1 within a few months of Deadly Premonition 2 coming out, and as someone who played the game immediately, one after the other, I don't see what they're talking about in any excessive amount of jank compared to the original. It's just as busted, and I don't get exactly what they're coming from. I don't know, it's just weird to me. It's kind of like this whole thing to ask for a sequel for so long and then almost seem like you purposely want to complain about it instead of just enjoying it when there's no real... There are probably some ethical, moral problems, but that has nothing to do with the game it is per se in terms of performance, which is, again, the criticism I heard a lot about it when it came out, and I don't see it. I would like to see some proofs, but from what I remember from Jim's video, after watching it now that I think I was safely enough into the game where he wasn't going to spoil anything, which he actually pretty much doesn't really talk much about the game at all as far as going to how the narrative is or anything. I don't know, like, I didn't really even see it in his video. I don't know. If I saw, like, what he was talking about, with like dropping to like 1 frame a second or or clipping through something or whatever, I would have been like, oh, well, I mean, you're showing me. But a lot of these people that said these problems, I didn't see any definitive proof. Now, Digital Foundry put out a video. It's pretty detailed, but the problem with Digital Foundry videos is that they go way into the tear, right? Like, Bloodborne, for example, not an awful performing game, but when they break it down to frame sub 30 drops, it sounds like the biggest piece of shit in the world. So if you rip into anything on a technical level, you can make a game sound bad. And so I don't see, like, you know, when they went into that. Because Digital Foundry has a really good video where they talk about when someone emulated Bloodborne on PC at 60 frames and it running really well on obviously OP hardware as opposed to the PS4 version, where they talk about that one section where the frame rate pretty much dips to shit and everything, and then of course the fact that it's a lock 30 causes issues already with screen tearing and, you know, everything like that.
It's been a while since I played Bloodborne. I don't even know if the frame drops as bad as it used to, but I remember there was I think it was Hemwick Carnal Lane was where it would happen. Yeah, I believe that was like where it got really bad. Yeah. Other than that, it's just minor. You know, the PS4 has hiccups. The PS4 isn't the most powerful console, so it definitely has hiccups. Like, there are times when I'm running cutscenes on Horizon or whatever, and there's some weird stutter that happens when they're like, and I'm just like, that's a little weird, but okay, this is 2019. It's weird to see a fucking stutter in a pre-rendered cutscene, by the way. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, that's a little, I'm just like, that's a little weird. But anyways, so the whole point is, if you really want to tear down everything, you can, and I don't know. Like, I see, again, like, addressing to Laura Kate Dale's criticisms of the game, she's not wrong. And Swery's response wasn't great. Obviously, as not part of that community, excuse me, it's one of those things where you can only vicariously relate, like, you know what I mean? I can't quite say when those things happen in the game that I was really hit in the feels and offended and, like, you know, gasping for air at the next comment. Can't say it affected me that way, but I can understand it being offensive. For example, I don't know if she talks about this part, but the way they do the black people in the game. Could just be, maybe that's how Creole Louisiana black people are. Maybe they are. I've met very animated black people. Maybe that's how they are. Or maybe it's a racist character. I don't know. And I can't split into, well, there's one character that's kind of a weird boogeyman, and that's a little racist. But other than that, like, it's just, is the rest of the character that black guy that I met in high school? Or is it just, a fucking mannequin? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyways, other than that, though, the game itself is still pretty solid. It's still interesting when I look at the art style because of the fact that it takes... I said this off camera to Josh. I forgot that I didn't say it on the last podcast episode when I talked about Deadly Premonition 2, but
The art style definitely goes after D4. Dark Dreams Don't Die's like shading style more than the original Deadly Premonition, but with how dated the old Deadly Premonition engine is, it must be the current engine that they're running on, so we'll see from there. I'm still really excited. I can't defend Swery's response to Lower Kate Dale, but I can say that I'm still really excited for his next game coming up, which is The Good Life, which is really cool. I mean, it takes place around this cat, basically, is like the main character. Now, there's a chick that's with the cat, but really the cat's kind of like the main character, and it's very investigative again, which is actually what I kind of like. It's Deadly Premonition where York's a cat, basically. So I'm kind of curious to see where they go with that. The art style is very cartoony, and I forgot what... This is the problem with... there's a lot of crowdfunding platforms, right? But most people only really hear about Kickstarter. I forgot the name of the crowdfunding platform that it was on, but I just didn't feel entirely confident. Kickstarter's not great, let me put it this way. There's a ton of fail projects. Thankfully, I've always hesitated to back the projects, but I have seen several projects I found interesting go right down the shitter, never come out, etc., etc. But thankfully, I've never backed a flop. I almost backed Shenmue 3, but thankfully I did not, so I haven't backed a flop. All the games I backed have all come out, all 12 of them. So, thankfully, all the games I backed have come out successfully. For better or worse, some games not great and some games good, but none, didn't just cut and run. There was like this cool dinosaur game. I guess it was kind of like Rust, but with more involvement of dinosaurs. So I guess more like Conan, I guess. But whatever it's like, or Ark rather, that's what it kind of... Yeah. But it looked like a better version. Ark looks like dog shit for some reason. The graphics look like dog shit. I'm sure it's a fun game or whatever, but the graphically it looks bad. But anyways, it was kind of like that, your survival, you're playing as a human or caveman, and your survival, I guess, whatever. But that project got successfully funded, I think 7+ years ago? And the last update was it never came out, and the last update was 7 years ago. So it's one of those things where that's the problem with Kickstarter. Now, the good thing is Kickstarter has changed their TOS in the last year or two, where you have to have a working prototype. You have to submit a working prototype to Kickstarter that they have to approve and say, that's obviously a pre-rendered cutscene or that's dog shit.
Yeah.
They have to actually approve it. How strict they are about that, but the fact that they make you do a thing where at least they have you do a Unity thing where you run around a bit and click stuff, the fact that you at least have to do that, I think, will eliminate most people on there. iDubbbz made a really good point a while back about how there were just a bunch of children on there, which doesn't seem like that should have been passed. A lot of this project where they're just 7-year-olds I'll make a game with your money. And it's literally just children. Not like those, 18-year-old dumbasses, straight up kids on there, I want to make a game, and I need $100,000, and it's just what's going to happen if you give this kid $100,000? He's not going to know what the fuck to do, because he doesn't know anything about making a video game. He's just played video games. But I'm glad that they've seemed to cut that out also, so, age restrictions, stuff like that. Kickstarter's getting better, but unfortunately, there's never a foolproof guarantee that games come out.
Yeah.
The next game I did back that I'm hoping to come out soon is Bushiden. It's a 2D side-scrolling ninja fast-paced side-scroller, so looks cool. Hopefully it's good, or it could be my first one. No, I'm just joking. They post update journals every other day, so I love that. I just love being in the loop with that because it shows me that something's happening. Oh my god! You know what? There was one game that I did back that did technically come out, but kind of got fucked up due to legal reasons. Star Mazer. What ended up happening with Star Mazer is not just that they changed the complete direction of the original pitch, the game style and graphically all changed. It's now called Star Mazer DSP, I believe. But then the problem later on is that they ended up having a falling out with the original composer, and then which the music is great 80s synthwave shit. And they had a falling out with her, and then she's kind of fuck you, you guys can't use any of my music. So then now they got to start from scratch with the music, and so that's kind of whatever. But it did come out at one point. It just became a mess in post, but whatever. So that's the closest thing to a fail I ever backed, which is a shame because we actually met those devs at the OG PAX. So that's actually one of the first ones I backed around that time. Well, it's not the first one, but that's one of the first ones where I went to a con and was met the people, got their cards and everything, and I was just I'll back you because I don't think I backed anyone else from that PAX. So, but yeah, other than that, also played. The Devolver published Carry On, where you play as it's basically one of your 80s, your alien or whatever, but instead of you're this big amalgamation mush of DNA, but instead of playing as like the guy trying to get away from the monster. You play as the monster. So as you go throughout the levels, these levels, if you were playing them in a traditional game, you see the level layout, and your automatic pleb brain thinks, oh, I would have to run it. No, but you're the monster this time, so you're dropping in from a area and kind of having to kill everybody in the level and using the physics, because there is kind of like a swing and physics mechanic to try to get around the levels and stuff like that. So you play as the monster instead of the humans in what's obviously a game that looks like you're supposed to be playing as the human. So it's kind of cool that they did reverse engineering there, and they are going to hopefully... Oh, I mean, I did play it already, but the interesting thing about it is it's out on all platforms. Excuse me. I had a problem there. But anyways, it's on all platforms except PS4. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if PS4 didn't pump out a check or if Xbox or Nintendo threw out a check that was like, how about not on PS4, but it's literally on everything. PC, Steam, Xbox One, Switch, literally everything but PlayStation 4. So, yeah. So, yeah. It's a good game, though. I told John about it. I don't know if John's just pretending like he played it because I told him how cool it was and showed him a trailer, because he did say it was cool the other day. But I still need to talk to him about that. I was going to say, did you actually play it? He has an Xbox, so he could have, I guess. I don't know. I just don't see him running out and getting it just because I said so. But whatever. Other than that, that's it for the weekly recap. Oh, wait. Sonic the Movie 2. The little poster came out. Probably nowhere near ready to go. Probably not going to come out for another year or two.
Yeah.
But... hey, whatever. I'm excited. The first movie was one of those movies where it was nothing great, but it was so non-offensive. I'd watch it again. I don't care. Jim Carrey was Jim Carrey. Yeah. What else did anyone expect? I don't know what.
I mean, most people just watch it for Jim Carrey anyways.
Yeah, like, exactly.
So.
But Sonic wasn't annoying, and and Cyclops was there, being a sheriffman, I think, or whatever he was.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was a sheriff. He was a copman, though.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was enjoyable. A little predictable, a little cliche, but it's for kids.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to do anything mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's a cute little movie.
And because of that, it's pretty good. So hopefully the second one will be cool. Tails is awesome. So see Tails in that poster. So there you go. And if anybody wants to watch any of the latest videos or streams you've dropped, Josh, where'll everyone find all that stuff on the internet?
Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, @Shiro Joestar, YouTube, Shiro Play 5.
Mallory.
You can find me on Instagram at awesome_Mally.
And you can find all my stuff at ZD Rocker at all the places, SlimAsianEntertainment.com, and DisconnectedCast.com. One thing I forgot to mention, because Devolver and Ubisoft both had events lately, so a little bit of addendums to those past stories that I forgot to mention. Devolver did a really cool thing. So Devolver is always known for having a great presentation every year. They always joke about having ripped off the concept of Nintendo Direct, but making it like, a little more overkill. They do a lot of 80s gore, gross stuff, kind of like weird live-action trailers for games that are ridiculous and obviously wouldn't work in that way. And they like to do that. Is really cool. What they did on a twist of it this year, though, is you now play it where you go to, because of a COVID, obviously, instead of having any physical appearances, they just do their digital one again. But partway through the digital showcase, they basically go on PC now and get the Devolver convention video game right now and go play it. And then, so when you play it, you're going around and you're getting to see the rest of the trailers that weren't in the actual event as you go through the video game con and are killing other people who are obviously supposed to be Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation games. And you're going around there and murking the reps from those and all that stuff and unlocking the next trailer as you go and see each Devolver game that's coming out, which are always awesome. Devolver, definitely one of the best publishers out there that isn't, shit kickers like Ubisoft or anything like that. So, always got creative stuff. Nobody does a more creative presentation than you can have vanilla, like PlayStation's presentation, which is always the most cookie cutter, clean shit, or you can have something creative, and that's what Devolver normally delivers. The head of Dragon Age 4 doing the big lies and saying that Dragon Age 4 is totally in development. It's so in development that they didn't show or mention it at all during Ubisoft Forward, so obviously, great progress, guys. It's obviously right on the way. So what they mean by that, to translate for those of you who are casual or don't understand the industry, that's lingo for, we're thinking about it still. We're thinking about it. Because think about it, Ubisoft Forward is their E3 replacement. If they had anything in regards to Dragon Age 4 ready, why would you not show it at your one showcase of the year? You know what I'm saying? It's really stupid to have nothing ready at the presentation whatsoever. So, Obviously, Dragon Age 4 is just bullshit anyways, but on top of that, it's probably going to be a mess if we've seen any of the Ubisoft games lately, like Watch Dogs Legion or the last Assassin's Creed, which was, like, fine, but the way they did the DLC and, you know, censoring the gays and censoring the women, you know, stuff like that is not great. So, yeah, but anyways, Dragon Age 4 supposedly in the works, but I'll believe it when I see an actual screenshot, not their gameplay trailer like the Ubisoft Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like 5-minute trailer that had no gameplay in it. So yeah, well, I'll believe it when I actually see anything at all from it. But we'll see. Then again, you have the 4 people that had the rape allegations that they were trying to cover up as well. So probably one of those things where maybe they want to space it a bit from that. But they already covered the rest of their presentations from that, so maybe not. A good presentation that happened recently. It was like fine. You know, it wasn't great enough. We're like, so I'm probably going to start having to request that you guys watch some of these conferences just because the information being siphoned from me watching the presentation and then telling you guys about it is probably only so much in imaginative or productive conversation. But I did spare you guys only because the Microsoft presentation was fine when they did show good stuff, but it wasn't anything where I was like, I need you guys to watch all 50 minutes, obviously. So I trimmed out what you guys should watch, and you guys totally did watch. And so the first thing that came up on there was a joke that Josh and I made off podcast just very recently, which was Fable. Yeah. We talked about that if a new Fable was announced anytime soon, that we would just be like, fuck off, like we don't even care anymore, because it's just so blown out and so bullshit every time. You know, we talk about Peter Molyneux being a liar every single time. I don't know if he's even involved this time, but you know what?
Probably not.
If he's not, I could get hyped, maybe. So we'll see. But the trailer literally showed nothing. You know, it has a little Tinkerbell going around, and then she gets ate by a frog. Ha ha ha, dark.
Funny.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it was nothing. It was a whole bunch of nothing. But of course, I saw people on my timeline, which I'm so tempted to call out by name, but I'm not going to because I'm not that kind of person. But I saw y'all on there. Fable, so hot. Take me back to my childhood. Shut the fuck up, all right? If you said that on Facebook, fuck yourself. Fuck Fable. It's not going to be good. Has the Fable game been good? When I think about it, not really. Half of 2 was good, 3 was garbage, 1 is questionably a game. So there you go. Oh, and then the shitty Kinect one. That was definitely a piece of shit. So, yeah, don't get hyped for Fable. Stop wasting your time with that. Unless, of course, Peter Molyneux's not involved, in which case, you know, keep peripherals on it. But don't get too hyped on it. Yeah, play it now and tell me it's good. Play it now and tell me it's good. It's bad. I played the anniversary one like a few months ago, and I didn't even want to do a video on it anymore. It was so bad. Yeah. The controls are stiff as shit.
I bet it did.
The voice acting's atrocious. And the story makes no sense. It just jumps in the middle. It's just like, oh yeah, all that stuff happened. Legendary. But anyways, but yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I remember we had that conversation, how I said...
Not that long ago.
Like, Peter Molyneux, like, ruined me getting hyped for any game.
Yeah, any game that he talks about, yep. And I further elaborated with Josh that even the non-Fable games that he talked about, I have been, like, I watched and then watched them just fail. And I'm just like, yeah, anything Peter Molyneux is involved with is a joke. It really is. Avowed was shown on there. That's probably one of the only ones I was super interested in. It's by Obsidian, of course, Pillars of Eternity, Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas. The RPG masters, basically, when it comes to that pound-for-pound reputation. Very excited. It looks like Skyrim. Now, it was all a pre-rendered trailer. Obviously, I'm not going to fucking be a hypocrite and be like, oh, I was fucking down with the gameplay. It was pre-rendered also, you know. It's first person. This is the thing that people didn't learn from the Avengers trailer or the any first-person trailer, is just because it's first-person or pulled out a bit doesn't mean it's real footage. For those of you who thought the Marvel Avengers footage was real, y'all are making me laugh. Like, I'm like, are you actually blind? Can you not tell the difference between 240p and fucking 4K? Like, actually stop. But other than that, it looks really good, though. I like the idea of... I've always liked spell swords, you know, the ability to have your blade skill, but then also be able to cast spells with your offhand. So if the animation looks anything like it did in the trailer, I'm pretty hyped for it. It basically will be Skyrim with an actual storyline. And, you know, not some dog shit string together awful narrative. Trust me, I like Skyrim, you know, I had fun with it. Obviously, I just put in like another 100-something hours to my over 1,000 hours already. However, I wouldn't say that it's a good story. Like, the main story is not good. There are probably more interesting side quest narratives, like offshoots that you just read in books and stuff like that, and then you do the quests that were more interesting than that. But it looks good, though. Obsidian's great, and I have good trust in them. I'm still waiting for you guys to fix Outer Worlds on Switch, but hey, whatever. One at a time. But yeah, Avowed coming out. All these, of course, IRC, I don't know about Fable. I'm assuming Fable's just going to be next gen, but Avowed, I believe... Oh, no, that's right. Xbox said any first-party titles are going to be on both for the first 2 years. So, unless they're liars, that'll be the case. One surprising announcement that I was curious, and this is the one I'm more so, like, the first two's like, whatever, but the one I'm curious at what you guys thought about it was Balan Wonderworld. I didn't expect that to come out of nowhere. It's a brand new IP collaboration between Square Enix and the original creator of Sonic, when Sonic was still good. Which
that
is
explains
Yuji
a lot,
Naka.
actually.
Oh, you didn't know that? And
Yeah, it does.
yeah, Yuji Naka.
Because when I saw the boy character,
You're like,
I was like, is this like a human version of Sonic?
Yeah.
Because he fucking looks like Sonic.
he does look like Sonic, and exactly.
Yeah, so that explains a
lot when you're watching the trailer now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as that goes now, we won't know how it feels. You know, we kind of know how... Thankfully, it won't be by Team Sonic, thank God.
Yeah.
It's going to be by Square Enix and whatever dev team, so we don't know who's going to work on it. Is the Final Fantasy 15 team? Is it whatever? But from what you guys saw of it, what did you guys think? Aside weird human Sonic boy.
Yeah, I just kept thinking of Sonic, because even, like, some of the platforming bits where they're... I swear I saw a jumping, like, homing attack thing, and I was like, okay, so it's like Sonic Adventure. I also kind of got, like, small vibes of Knights, like, not as much.
I think
like,
aesthetically, though, some of
Yeah.
the mobs and some of the... Especially that weird, like, balloon villain guy with
Yeah.
the little inflated... Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Is it something y'all would be curious to play, probably? Or would
That
you at
I'm
least maybe
not
check it out?
sure.
I guess it'll all depend on when it comes out, if they're like, it plays good or it plays bad.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
have to
was
wait
more,
for the reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, I was more like looking at it kind of squinty-eyed, like, what is this, more than anything.
Yeah, but now
with
that you
it.
know Yuji Naka's involved, you're like,
Yeah, because, like, a lot of it was kind of screaming Sega.
Sega!
Yeah, and now I know.
Yep.
But in regards to if I play it, I have no idea, because some of it kind of looked interesting. The other parts of it, I was like, I don't really know if I'm really that motivated to check it out.
I hear ya. Mallory?
I really liked it, just from what I saw.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited to play it, honestly. It looks really cute. So I love the graphics and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm excited.
They do
I'm
have-
probably going to buy it as soon as it comes out.
Nice. I definitely want to check it out. The Square Enix budget for graphics is usually really high, so it should be pretty at the very least. I like the idea of costumes tied to powers. You know, I like that in Final Fantasy X-2 and other stuff where you're just like, change the outfit to do this. I don't know, I have a guilty pleasure for that. But, you know, it's really good stuff. So it looked like gameplay at the very least, or running an engine, if anything. So that game definitely looks further along than a lot of stuff shown at the event. Another game that should look further along, because it's almost out in terms of a few months, of course, is Halo Infinite. Their big bread and butter that everyone is looking forward to. Personally, some people griped out the way the graphics look. I mean, the weird bad guy man looked a little weird. But the rest of it looked fine. It's nice and shiny, Vaseline Halo that I remember. But it was gameplay, and I gotta say, it looks pretty good. It looks like they really... I haven't played a Halo game in a while, but it really does remind me of like Halo 1 and 2, like the way they tried to make everything look in the environment, the graphics, more popping instead of like in 3, I remember it looking more abysmal. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. I think it does look really cool. Now, Halo, of course, isn't the only thing that would make me go out and buy an Xbox, so I need something else. However, if something can pull me to buy an Xbox Series X, I'd check it out. I think it looks fine. Looks like a good Halo game, finally, after a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that fence about the graphics not really being very... It's definitely not, wow, next gen.
Yeah, 343 already did address it and said at most that's their pre-alpha graphics.
Yeah.
So they said they just had to pump something out for the Microsoft event, but they said it'll definitely be more polished by the time it
Hopefully
actually comes
so,
out.
because
Yeah.
like if you look at the distant background, it does not
Yeah,
look great.
Yeah, they said they were running it on a very basic kit for the thing, so that's
Yeah.
just to show you how the gameplay will look.
Yeah, but I'm also not the hugest Halo mark either. Honestly, the whole as I was watching it, the thing that I kept thinking about the most was how the music that was playing really didn't seem to have that same oomph like it used to.
Yeah, that's true. It definitely didn't. I don't even think it's the same composer.
Yeah, I don't think they've had that composer for a long
like
while
2,
now.
maybe 3.
Yeah, so I remember just watching it. I was like, yeah, I remember the music slapping a bit harder than this.
Yeah, it normally did. What about you, Mallory? You're an Xbox girl. Are you gonna be playing the Halos when it comes out?
I probably will. I have a bunch of friends who play Halo. Halo was one of my favorite games of all time. Mm-hmm. It's actually what got me into first-person shooters. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably going to play it. I'm excited. It looks really good. The graphics look great. I can't wait.
Alrighty. So yeah, you won't have to wait too long. So again, and then that's going to be another dual release since the first-party title. So we'll go from there. Yeah, so 343, yeah, they addressed the graphics, so they said it's going to be much better. In fact, they said that you're going to be very surprised how it's going to look in the end, so that's good. For better or worse, at least that's a good statement to make. Right. They also said this, and this is the part where I'm like, I don't know if this is a good statement or not. They said that they want Halo Infinite to be a platform for Halo more so than pumping out sequels every couple of years. So basically they said that their intention, obviously Halo is very multiplayer driven. The narrative is probably going to be a thing, maybe have a couple of DLCs, but they did say they want to constantly keep it fresh and keep updating it to the point where it could be the only Halo game for the next 10 years,
Halo
assuming
Destiny.
it does well. Basically. Now, here's the thing. Destiny's bad. So this is a chance for 343 to take over the mantle of Bungie and actually do it well. So if they're going to try to take that route... Sorry, I'm walking away because I need you guys for a bit. If they're going to try to take that route and do it better than Destiny, I'm alright with that.
I just imagine how shitty that would be for Bungie. For
that would be so great. That's kind of why I want to shit on him. It's kind of funny. But anyways, intermission talk. Mallory and Josh, go. Take it away.
Oh, no. Intermission talk. Well, what are your thoughts of switching to stands instead of using Hamon?
See, I was very confused because they don't actually, they don't go into detail about why they did that, in the show. It just automatically shifted. So I was very confused. And I was a little worried because, they never really brought it back up. I mean, I've seen Joseph use Hamon a couple of times, but it's no longer a big thing. Yeah. So I was very confused, and I was like, what is going on? I have seen a few stands that I absolutely hate. Mm-hmm. The tumor one.
The tumor one?
I can tell you right now, just no. But I think it's the Empress.
Oh.
It's the little thing that glows out of his arm.
Oh, yeah.
Goes on his arm when they're in India. That one was gross.
Right.
I'm not big into bugs, so the one that goes into his ear and starts messing with his brain, that one is a no-go for me. I don't like it.
That was the tower, wasn't it? When they were on the planet.
Which stands did you hate?
I mean, there's a few. Stardust Crusader is kind of weird, because it is the first one with stands, and so Araki is still playing around with the idea of it. But yeah, especially around the beginning, some of them aren't that great. The tower was kind of I didn't really care much for, I forget the one, but I don't know if you've gotten to it yet, but it's a guy who, it's just water. He's in a freaking...
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, yeah, he's in a desert and he's fighting them with a thing of water. It's kind of weird. I thought the levels was a bit weird too. I mean, they kind of briefly mentioned how stands came to be, but it's not explained very well. But it had to do with Dio, and apparently that's what brought it forth. Oh yeah, I'm also not the biggest fan of Hermit Purple. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, Hermit Purple isn't my top favorite.
Yeah.
So far my favorite is Jotaro. Just because he's awesome. I like what is his name? The silver one.
Silver Chariot?
The sword fighting French guy.
Polnareff.
I don't remember his name, but I like the French guy stand. He's got a sword fight.
Yeah, it's Polnareff.
I like that one.
Yep, Polnareff.
Are you guys talking shit about Palmerov?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't remember his name.
No, I like him.
Oh, you like Palmerov? Okay,
Yeah.
Palmerov's cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean, yeah, he gets like the best fights in that arc.
Yeah, it's true, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. By like a landslide. Like,
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
like, not even close.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo's so good, man. They need, like, better games, honestly. Like, they've had a couple of good fighting games, but, like,
Yeah.
that weird Eyes of Heaven game fucking it's another one of those bullshit arena behind the thing. I hate those fucking games so much. Fuck off, Japan.
Yeah. I don't
Make good games.
I think they're
goddammit.
kind of fun to like kill time with, but
Yeah,
no.
if you want cancer, that's the
But
best
definitely
game
not.
to play.
Definitely not like, hey, buddy, want to kill some time and play this game?
Yeah, if you want your friends to hate you, you can fucking play a JoJo Eyes of Heaven instead of playing River City Girls or something amazing for couch co-op. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot if I mentioned on the last episode. River City Girls, very vague like announcement, but they said more's coming soon.
Oh.
But then they didn't say a date or when or anything. They just said, "Hey, River City Girls did great. We're doing more." So cool, good stuff.
Yeah, I need to play more of
I
that.
wish it had online play still. A little fucking annoyed by that, but hey, you know, it's a good excuse to get COVID by bringing your friends over to play it. You know, it sucks though. John and I were making such good progress.
And then
Yeah, exactly. It sucks because like right before this COVID thing happened, we were killing it in like the River City Girls. I did pretty good with Jackie, and then I never got to play with you yet. But yeah, do you have a preference? Let's play style. Maybe not visually. I don't know who you're. Whatever. I assume you'd like the shorter haired one, anyways. But
I've been using her a bit more. Like I did a little bit of the other character.
Yeah. Their styles are pretty contrasting.
Yeah,
I love the redhead though because later on, like her level 2 or level 3 or whatever is a dab, and I just love the fact that it's an actual like power dab that blows the people away. I'm just like that's the greatest thing ever because she's an idiot.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good though. I just like the fact that it's basically Bubbles and Buttercup essentially. That's essentially who it is.
Right.
But it's good stuff though. Everyone should play it if they have not. River City Girls, good stuff. Interesting because I haven't really played too many of the River City games, so like. That's one of the few to really, like, for first one to be like, gotta play that.
I don't know if I know too many within, like,
River
our
City,
age group that
yeah,
have
exactly.
played it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like River City OG, River City Mock, a bunch of, like, you know, whatever ones. But River City Girls, though.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's also the most anime aesthetic, like, very pretty, cool music one. So maybe that's why it's probably the most different from the other River City games. But it's good. It's really good. Soundtrack's fucking killer, man. That's the thing I always tell people to watch out for. Fucking good shit. Very few times do I think vocals in BGMs work very well, but it works very well there. Pretty much because it's dynamic and it goes with whatever you're doing. If you just start standing there, it just plays down. But then as you're killing more people, it gets all hyped up and starts playing more. Oh god. Gabe Newell in his struggle to stay relevant made a very Galaxy Brain statement. Obviously, neither of the consoles are out. Neither of them have really... at the PlayStation presentation, the Xbox, none of them really showed anything where I was just like, holy fuck, I'm in on the next gen. So, to be fair...
This next gen's fairly underwhelming, isn't
it is. And I'm just tired of all these people who are like, PlayStation killed it. PlayStation killed it. I'm like, what did they show that you guys like? PlayStation killed it. I'm like, why aren't you guys listing games that you like? PlayStation killed it. I'm just like, yeah, they did.
I think I'm glad I haven't seen anything like that recently.
Yeah, I wish. Because those streamers we know didn't talk so much. But anyways, not calling people out, because that was an ambiguous thing. Josh knows what I'm talking about. But that's an ambiguous thing. They all live together. Gabe Newell in his struggle to stay relevant, of course, saying that when he was asked this question in a stupid conference recently, because he's stuck in New Zealand, by the way, because of COVID, so he's stuck there.
Oh.
Which, you know, that's not a bad place to get stuck. It's not like you got stuck in fucking downtown Thailand and you don't know the language and you're getting, like, fucked by gangsters and shit like that. But yeah, he was asked in an interview, a very poor interview, which one do you think is better? Which, like, there's no grounds
that's so cringy
to say. And of course, Gabe Newell was like, Xbox. Just is, Xbox. And he's just like, I got a stake in either, but Xbox. And I was just like, great, Gabe. And the last relevant game Valve first party released was?
Left 4 Dead 2.
Exactly. Which means that he really loves Xbox first-party release model, which is nothing. Yeah. Sorry, Ballard.
So you could have been super cringy and be like, just wait until we really get the Steam box rolling.
Yeah, God, I wish he said that. That would have been amazing. I wish he said neither and said Steam box.
Yeah, Steam
box.
That'd
been great. At the latest Nintendo Direct, a bunch of garbage. Like, most of that fucking Direct was garbage. However, there were a few good games that they talked about. Shin Megami Tensei 5, right? 5, right?
Yes.
Yes, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and then 3 remastered, or Nocturne? Or
yeah, 3 Nocturne's going to be getting
okay.
the HD remastered.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So it looks great. Looks great, especially if you're an SMT nerd. Now, what I do agree with Jim, and I love he said it this way. So Jim upset me with Deadly Premonition 2, but it's whatever. But you know what? I got back on the train, and I agree with him. They cut out the best game from the American one. The best game on that Direct, which was only shown in the Japanese one, even though it's coming out here, was Sakura of Rice and Ruin, which is a really amazing looking, I forgot the team that does it, but they have very anime aesthetic, but it looks like really nice shadows and everything and cel shading. But it's a very cool side-scrolling platformer where you play as Sakura, like a rice farming ninja, and you kind of go through the different, it's a nice mix of platforming and puzzles and stuff like that to get through enemies in your way and all that stuff. So it looks really great, and honestly, the game, just because I'm not a big SMT nerd, I'm not saying it's better, I'm just saying that of the games on there, that would have been the trailer I would have been hyped about, but they cut it from the North American one. There's another weird one that they cut, it was like Altair or whatever, one of those games. There's a ton of those.
Altair.
Altair,
Assassin's Creed spin-off.
what do you call it? The whatever. It's all the ones with those bullshit anime girls on it and stuff like that.
Atelier?
Yeah, there's like 1,200 of those games or whatever. So they had that trailer, I don't give a shit. So I don't care that one was cut. But they cut out Sakuna. I can't even talk about it anymore. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. So that sucks though because that game looks great. It's weird. If those games weren't coming out here, I'd be like, yeah, obviously, why show the American audience that? But both of them are being localized, and both of them come out like in 2 months. So it's like, why did you cut like 10 minutes out of the fucking thing? Just have the whole thing. The one that looked... I'm sorry.
I was going to say, sometimes I don't think Nintendo understands how weeby
people
can be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know PlayStation people, but they're pretty weeby too, you know what I mean? Especially Sakuna of Rice and Ruin looks great. But anyways, the game that didn't look great on there, what the fuck? I can't even remember what it was called anymore. Is that weird? Did you guys watch the Direct or no? There was a really bad Battle Royale. Like, it was called Rogue Ops or some shit like that. It's really forgettable. It looks like if PUBG and Fortnite had a baby and then tried to abort it on train tracks. Like, it looks awful. Like, graphically, it looks horrid. Like, some people would say her Switch versions of everything look shitty. I mean, this looks bad. Like, even for a quote unquote even for a Switch game, like it looks awful. It looks like they took a fucking it just looks like they tried to take Fortnite's cartoony look but then use PUBG's military aesthetic. It's a really weird blend.
Yeah, that's weird.
They just show bad over the shoulder third person things of people being barely able to aim. It was an awful showcase. I'm like, who the fuck is this for? Like, these people are on Xbox, not on Switch. Like, this is like, because Xbox, and again, this is just this is an honest slight at Xbox, is that they do release a lot of those weird, like, who the fuck is that for?
Right.
Like, Fox Sports Moto Race. It's like, of course that's on Xbox only. Like, no one cares, like, why. But it's just weird to see it on Switch because it looks so out of place. It was just like, the fact that was sandwiched in between SMT and would have been sandwiched in between Sakuna is weird. It's like, weird white child, and then like, everywhere.
I'm just, like, I haven't even seen it, but I'm just thinking of like a meme where it'd be like, kid is like, I want to play Fortnite. Mom's like, we have Fortnite at home, and then it's that.
Yeah, basically, exactly. That would be a very good meme to relate to it.
Right.
Looked awful. But yeah, as far as where to reserve the PS5, this is just kind of tangential news from like a previous episode that I forgot to mention. Sony did announce the US retailers. Of course, obviously overseas you have your EB Games and shit like that, so you can get it from there. But in the US, here there's the 5 places. What a big surprise! These are going to be the most obvious places that you can reserve the PS5 officially. Obviously, you can go on eBay and get scammed that way and everything. But Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, Target. Big surprise, guys. The smallest retailers in the world are going to be selling the PS5. So that's where you can officially reserve them whenever it's ready. Of course, as we talked about before, they have said that they're not going to just drop a bombshell on you, probably because it's going to be really expensive from what we saw from the leaks. So they did say they're going to give adequate heads up for you to put mommy and daddy's money away to save up for it. So yeah, PS5 gonna be at those retailers, choose whatever. I'm probably gonna just do Amazon because that's honestly the easiest place to buy fucking anything from. That's where I bought my Xbox and my PlayStation. Oh no, I bought my PlayStation from Best Buy. I lied. But that's where I bought pretty much all my other consoles from, was Amazon, because, fuck it. I'll suck Bezos' dick. But anyways, Cyberpunk, what the fuck am I saying? Jet Set Radio spiritual successor has been announced. It's called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk and looks unashamedly like Jet Set Radio.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, it looks a lot like it. Like, obviously, when they said spiritual successor, they basically mean Sega won't approve this, but we're still doing it anyways.
Yeah, they have like, the same composer.
Exactly, correct. Yeah. Yep, they're even going to have Hideki Naganuma's music in it as well. So they are going all out and making... They're like, fuck you, Sega, we're making Jet Set. So they went with a ridiculous title, the aesthetic looks similar, and they even got the same composer, so... Should be fine.
Should be fun times for all, hopefully.
Hopefully it's like a Christian Whitehead thing where like every time he makes a Sonic, his team makes a Sonic thing, it's way better than when Team Sonic tries to do anything. Hopefully it's something like that. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they don't get sued though, because it's pretty unashamedly close. Like they could go IP infringement on him, but hopefully Sega's not that shitty about it. If you're a PlayStation Plus, it's like Sony did this to slap me. Because I bragged about not having PS Plus anymore for like the longest time. Mm-hmm. If you have PS Plus, if you haven't got it yet, don't worry, it's coming. But you get a $10 free gift card from Sony if you're a current PS Plus member. So go spend it. Go stimulate that PS economy in Japan. And do your thing. But yeah, that's what you do get. Free for, it's anniversary things or whatever the fuck. However many years of Xbox Live ripoff. I mean PlayStation Plus. So there you go. The source code for a lot of major Nintendo 64 and NES codes have been leaked, so people are going to be trying to look for ways to break the games, speed run stuff. There's a lot of information you can get from source code, so we'll see from there. Nintendo's a little bummed out, but hey, they're old ass shit. Who even cares anymore if you cheat in an NES or an N64 game? Like, whatever. I mean, I guess if they're going to do N64 and Nintendo Online, then I guess that kind of fucks them a little bit, but whatever.
Speedrunning communities need that spice.
Exactly.
I mean, hey, it should add some more memes. I already enjoy some of the memes for Super Mario 64 speedruns.
Yeah, that's true. Apparently they discovered Luigi. One of the things that came out of that leak was that they did it, and Luigi is in the game somewhere. He's just not...
So I remember it was a rumor for the longest time.
Yes, and now it's been confirmed. Yeah. And then they also pulled out a boss that was just completely deleted. Mm-hmm. It was like, was it Bloodborne or was it Dark Souls? I remember one of those games, they just someone up pulled a deleted boss fight. And
I think you're referring to Bloodborne. It was like this fucking snake monster or some shit.
That just didn't make it into the game.
Yeah, it didn't make it into the game. They replaced it with the Shadows of Yarnum.
Okay.
Which is an kind of boss, depending on who you ask.
Maybe the snake would have been more interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah, but anyways. Yeah, so that's the cool thing that comes out of source code leaks.
Apparently there was also like a beta Pokemon game that was leaked as well. Yeah, apparently it was, I didn't read too much of it, but
some sort of unknown Pokemon game that never came out.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Or might have gotten scrapped and became like
Snap or whatever I
think it was the original Crystal.
Oh,
I could be wrong though.
Okay.
I'm only going off what someone told me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kind of cool. Speaking of cool, Animal Crossing's second summer date's coming out. It's going to add fireworks.
Cool.
Dreaming. Okay. Where you can visit your friend's towns while dreaming. So I don't know if that means like offline and the last time your friend edited his town, you can go there. His or her town, that you can go there. Who knows? And then cloud backups. Now, this isn't exactly the way... from what I understood, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully it's just full up cloud saves. That's what I hope. But from what I understand, they still don't want to do that because of manipulating and breaking the game and cheating. Because, that's what people do in Animal Crossing is, It's not like people time travel. And so what you can do with cloud backups is if your Switch just gets fucked, like my Switch Lite, I'm only playing on there, and then it gets snapped in half or whatever. I would cry, actually, because that's signed by a K-pop group. But anyways, now you can emergency pull your save onto another console. So, hopefully they just do cloud saves, period, instead of this cloud backup bullshit. But better than nothing. If I could have that, I'd be a little more confident with my Pokemon save. I'd be a little more confident with my Animal Crossing save. Because it does suck that it's tied to that console and it's just fucked, if anything. Mostly Nintendo shit. And Dark Souls Remastered. That's like one of the few third-party games that doesn't have cloud support for whatever fucking reason. It's weird. That's one of the reasons I hesitate getting on there. Because I really do want to get it. Because I think Dark Souls on the go could be kind of fun. Frustratingly fun, but fun. But when I saw that cloud saves not supported, I said, fuck off. I don't want that shit. Especially if I dump a bunch of time in it. I want to be able to jump from there to there. Because I like doing that shit where I'm like at home. I'm like playing for a bit and then like, oh, nope, gotta go. But anyways, yeah. Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Finally coming out in November. It dropped in January or February in Japan. Did pretty good. Did pee good. Now, probably one of the worst selling Yakuza games in a while, but what I always tell people is take those reviews with a grain of salt, because if you actually watch or read them, a lot of them did clickbaity titles where they're just like, we're selling Yakuza game yet. Because the format changed. It's a straight up RPG. Not everyone that likes Yakuza wants to do that. So that's why. It's a great game to even talk about how good it is, how it's funny, and the narrative's hilarious and stuff like that. One of the interesting things is they're doing an English dub for it again, which is, Judgment went ahead and did a full-on English dub. Now they're doing one for Yakuza Like a Dragon. But the interesting thing is the English dub is going to feature a character voiced by George Takei. So, very curious what his character is going to be like. Hopefully it's funny. It's the first post-Kiryu game, Judgment withstanding, because that's technically a spin-off. I know some people were like, actually, Judgment takes place after Kiryu? And I'm just like, okay, but it's also not a Yakuza game, so fuck off. It just takes place in Kamurocho, but it's not, But that should be fun. Interesting to see Kiryu. He's gone. Although I'm sure there are going to be some references to him, or he might even just appear, because Kiryu. But, yeah. And here's the interesting thing. PlayStation again being the weird, kind of outed one on that. This November, it will be out on all platforms, including Xbox Series X, except PS5, coming soon. I don't know what happened there, but another weird PlayStation. Xbox must be fucking just blank checking everybody, be like, Yakuza? Whatever that is. Hey, FromSoft, what are you doing? Whatever that is. I feel like you're going to start seeing those kind of announcements soon, because Xbox has realized they need games.
Yeah.
And if you can't deliver on the first party, and there's no shame in that, third party it up. Just have all the third party games on there. What harm is that going to do? If anything, that'll just help you. Because people who want to check out FromSoft games can finally do it or whatever. Like now that all these Final Fantasy games that weren't on Xbox before now there and all that shit. If they eventually announce that all these FromSoft games are going to be on, not even, I think Dark Souls 1 through 3 are all on Xbox, I believe. So
Yeah, Dark Souls is on Xbox, but Demon Souls and Bloodborne
are on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So yeah, just have them fucking pay for an exclusive. Get yourself a FromSoft exclusive. Microsoft, the worst it could do is be so good that PlayStation will be like, God fucking damn it, now I want it, I need to get that on fucking whatever. But yeah. Oh, and not just is it coming out on everything but PS5 at launch, even PC, which everything, including for Judgment, has always been hell delayed. The PC version for the Yakuza games have always been 5 to 10 years late. So now it's going to be one of the first Yakuza games to launch also on PC at the same time. Literally everything but PS5. So,
wow.
Yep, should be good. Blasphemous, one of my most favorite games. I was so surprised because I'm not usually good at those type of games, but I kicked ass in Blasphemous. I actually was so... Oh god, beating some of those bosses were so infuriating, but so satisfying. I love that. That's why I was just like, this is what Dark Souls people like. This is what they do. And I enjoyed it a lot. They're going to be getting a huge free DLC update. So if you guys haven't even played it, fucking get on that shit. It's on sale right now on Switch also. And if you have, go ahead and beat it, because that game is fantastic from point A to point B. Although I will say, like a lot of Metroidvania games, having to backtrack for those last couple of holy items that you need fucking sucks. That shit... I had to go away for a few months and come back, and then I was all rusty on the controls and shit. But I'm so happy I did, because now this new DLC is going to add New Game Plus, it's going to add an optional 3 penance system, it's going to add new storylines, new NPCs, bosses, enemies, areas, new executions, new counters, a revamped map system, new fast travel locations, new items, animations, level reworks. That will work mechanically to kind of fit the new stuff in. Kind of all a nice thing, from new stuff to remix to everything. And this is my favorite part that they're going to be doing. It's by a Spanish studio. Obviously, the roots is Catholicism. Guilt is the theme of a lot of the monsters and everything. You have the fucked up priests and the fucking weird whip yourself dudes and everything. It's very, very Spanish Catholic lore based inspiration. And now they're adding a full Spanish dub track for the entire game, so including the new stuff. So very cool that they're just going all in. Amazing Spanish music, amazing aesthetics. The gameplay is very tight. It's one of those games that I'm so happy that when I play, I know when the boss and I are both down to Magic Pixel and I still get killed, I didn't feel like it was bullshit. I was just like, fair enough. My foot went into the fucking fire and I died. I'm a dumbass. Whatever. It's not like some games where I swear to God, I'm just like, that didn't happen. If I fucking PlayStation captured this shit, they didn't touch me, and then you can, and then you'd see that, But on Blasphemous, it's difficult but fair, and I really enjoy that. Am I masochist enough to do New Game Plus? I don't know. I hope you can just jump into the new shit, but if it is one of those games where they kind of make you get to it by doing New Game Plus, I guess here we go again. But yeah, should be fun though. I truly enjoyed it. I know you played it for a bit. I do hope you eventually make more progress, because I'm very curious to your thoughts on some of the later bosses. Some of them have some pretty fucking interesting mechanics, I think. So, you know, for discussion purposes. But, yeah, there's that. Rocket League, going free to play. Now, they kind of talk... Sorry, I've been clapping a lot, guys. I'm making fucking huge noises on the thing. But, they're going free to play. Now, they mentioned this model a while back, and they talked about how the Steam version was eventually going to get the kibosh. Of course, if you bought it already, they can't strip your copy away. So you can still play it on Steam as long as you buy it for the $19.99 base price before it goes free to play, which they still haven't given an exact date. They said this summer, so, you know, the summer months are kind of vague. When does summer technically end? I think, August? Or it's some late shit, like September or November. It's like winter or whatever. Yeah. Or some shit like that. It's like one of those things
it's either like
or
late
fall,
September
rather.
or October.
Yeah, it's some weird shit like that. Because to me, summer ended when I go back to school, which would be like August or whatever, but... That's obviously not really summer.
For me, summer ends once it's not fucking hot outside.
Yeah, which is not until like December, which sucks. But anyways, Rocket League going free to play now. Here's the thing: if you don't buy it before they pull it from the store, the only way to get it from then on will be Epic Games Store for free. But if you don't like Epic Games Store, buy it on Steam now. You're gonna have to buy it, but at least you get to play it on your client of choice. Obviously, it's all still cross-play across all platforms like it is. And if you did buy it, because you're going to be like, well, but I bought it, now all these assholes are going to be able to play it for free? Because it's a pretty fair free-to-play model. It's actually it's actually going to be the game you can play. You just got to pay for the skins and whatever. But you still get a nice little founders pack if you did. If you own it now and then it goes free to, and when it goes before it goes free to play, you will get some free exclusive cosmetics. You know, your fucking senior shit for being a supporter from the beginning. So cool stuff. I think it's great that it's going free to play. It's a really fun game that like I just have a hard time convincing my friends to get because they don't get soccer with cars. They don't understand that that's cool. But it's a lot of fun. They have iconic cars in there. They have the shitty. What's his name? The dead guy, Paul Walker car, and then they have the DeLorean, and you know, cool iconic cars like that for skins if that's your saying. So cool stuff. Square Enix made a really bullshit statement. Square Enix states the following: they want to release Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 as soon as it can. However, that may take a while, they say, so please wait for us. And I'm just like, fuck off. So basically, you're saying it's going to be another 5 to 10 years.
Probably, maybe.
Because the thing that comes up in discussion is the OG pitch was 10 years ago. The current build is 5 years old. So if you want to give them credit, the one that ended up launching technically has only been in development for 5 years. So it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, remake took 5 years. But think about it. For those who really enjoyed it, I haven't beat it yet or whatever, I know. I'm a shitty. I was the one who was all hyped about it and I haven't finished it. But if I still have to wait another 5 years, guess what? I'm in no rush to beat it then. Because if I gotta wait 5 years to play fucking part 2, fuck off. But I do need to beat it soon before someone accidentally spoils where it ends for me because I'm gonna kill that person. Get very angry.
Imagine the people where this is their first time experiencing the story to 7 and like...
John?
No, and they're like, I'm not gonna play the old ones because I want to keep.
I told John, goddammit. Okay, before this game came out, I told John, I asking someone to play all of Final Fantasy VII is a bit of an arduous task. I understand. It's not a simple 8-hour campaign. It's not even a simple game, as I learned when I replayed FF7 OG. However, I told him, I said, if you're gonna play Remake, you better beat the original before it comes out because we need to talk about the story. And 7 Remake is going to take so long to tell you the whole story, you're going to forget everything by the time you get through it. And it's also probably going to be super changed. So, here's a weird thing I didn't know, because I thought it was out already. Cuphead, out on PS4 as of recording. I thought it was out on PS4 already, but apparently not. It was out on everything but PS4, again. Really weird. It used to be the Xbox exclusions, and this year we're seeing a lot of these random, like, it's only like 3 or 4 cases, but still, like, these PlayStation's never excluded. It's always like, if anything, PC, PlayStation. Then maybe PC, PlayStation, Switch. And then maybe, if they had enough budget, PC, PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox. And I'm just like, alright, that's the order, basically. But everything's out for PlayStation normally, so that was really weird. Persona 5 Scramble is actually coming out in the West, despite its horrid horrid Japanese sales. Apparently, Japan hated it. So a lot of people thought they're probably not even going to release that piece of shit here because if Japan didn't like the Weeb game, how the fuck is it going to fare in the West? But according to to Atlas, it's coming out anyway. So no release date. It's just going to get shit out of the Switch on one of these days. But
it's going to be one of those days
very bad.
You just wake up and then boom,
$20 Persona Scramble. Yeah,
I'm
not really hyped. I just want Persona 5 and 4 and maybe 3 on Switch already. Goddammit, I want that announcement. Atlas, do you hate money? Look what happened. When it came out, when Persona 4 Golden came out on PC and it sold gangbuster numbers, they were just like, wow, people wanted this on PC? It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Release everything on PC. Do fucking Yakuza took forever, but they learned. They know people want it on PC, so do that. Cool news for those of you who are fans of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Physical edition's dropping. It's done so well now. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do this. So physical edition's dropping October 8th for those of you who want your physical Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
I wonder if it's going to come with like all the DLC or something.
It better. If it does, I'm picking it up for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that's kind of scared me away. I keep seeing it on sale, but I'm like, I don't want to buy Season Pass, DLC characters, all this shit. I just want to play it. I've heard it's fun. I just want to play it. So cool. And finally, G4 TV is coming back in 2021. X-Play, Attack of the Show, whatever. Now, I don't even know if it's going to be the original hosts anymore, because goddamn are they old now. I mean, I love Morgan Webb still. Obviously, had a big... Anyone who knew me in school knew I had a huge crush on her. I don't know what Kevin Pereira's doing. He's probably being an All Lives Matter guy. Blue Lives Matter guy, but, whatever. But probably not with the original hosts, but is gaming TV ready to come back? Now, here's the thing. Gaming TV died because YouTube happened.
Yeah. You can just get everything on YouTube.
So, unless it's going to be a digital thing only, maybe it will. Maybe G4 TV will now be a website. But I feel like it's going to be a cable channel. Are you really going to go out of your way to get cable to watch G4 TV? Probably not. Because we already have our content creators that we go to check out gaming shit already.
Yeah.
The thing is, G4 TV had a good spot in my heart because it existed before YouTube content creators would show me the games and do Let's Plays and stuff like that. I got our school on there because of the bomb threat. I was the one who got the school on Attack of the Show, and they sent me a t-shirt for it. So,
Nice.
Finally, to wrap up the thing, the episode, what the fuck am I saying? You can get in on this convo at disconnectedcastmail@gmail.com. That's disconnectedcast, fucking hell. Disconnectedcastmail@gmail.com, fuck me. Okay, obviously this episode needs to end. Here's the thing. I'm going to get John's thing out of the way because John and me are going to be the first test subjects. The question I had for us today is, do you ever play a game on the hardest difficulty and actually find it fun? Me, no. I always play everything on normal, maybe hard if I go through a second time and I really loved it, maybe. But me, typically, no. To me, the hardest difficulty is always to the point where I just don't find it fun, you know. Whatever the hardest difficulty in Halo, whatever, grounded mode in Last of Us, just too hard. It just, maybe I'm a bitch, maybe I'm, whatever, but I just don't get pleasure out of playing something that difficult, you know what I mean? Where you're giving me, no ammo or whatever. I'm just like, whatever. John loves it, though, at least in Halo, Legendary, and Last of Us, and Grounded. I know he plays those two games out of the box on the hardest difficulty for sure. So he gets pleasure out of it, and obviously people do. That's why they make those higher difficulties. So I do say, I'll relay it to Josh first and Mallory. Do you, Josh, like to play? Is there any game you've played and beat and then got pleasure out, and you really did actually genuinely enjoy playing it on the hardest difficulty, or maybe even a harder difficulty than normal?
I usually don't fuck with that shit.
Right? You just whatever it's set on.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, normal, go. Set your brightness, subtitles, go. Like that's it usually.
Yeah, I'll normally just do
whatever the recommended is.
Yeah, usually just normal.
Okay.
And I don't know of many people who do that unless they're just those assholes that brag about it.
Yeah, thankfully John doesn't really brag about it. He's just we're talking about it, and I'm like, what difficulty? And so then he tells me.
I recall there was a mutual that we went to school with who once told me, I always play it on the hard difficulty because what's the point?
Yeah, I don't get that's a weird mentality. To me, that's the souls get good mentality, but even worse because it's just the game technically wasn't designed to be that difficult. Because normal or recommended is... Oh, no, Pat actually made a really good point. Pat did say this, and when I looked it up, I found some really good journal pieces and stuff like that. the difficulty the game is actually balanced for. I was actually wrong. I thought it was normal. The game is balanced for whatever difficulty is the notch above normal. Normal is actually the easy technically, and easy is the casual technically. When it comes to the balancing, Pat was talking about it, and I looked it up later. Not because I didn't believe him, but I just was like very curious in that mentality. But it makes a lot of sense that when you balance a game, you kind of want to balance it on a little bit of a higher notch. So hard. Say there's very hard. And normal and hard, so hard is normally where they balance it at, and then normal, and then whatever. So I found that kind of interesting. But anyways, that's usually how I experience it, because I feel like that is where you'll be able to enjoy, because a lot of the stuff I play is narrative-driven, where you can enjoy the narrative and the gameplay without breaking a controller or being like, you know what, fuck this game, I'm never going to finish it.
I think only one of the few games where I do get some enjoyment out of trying it at a higher difficulty would probably be something like Devil May Cry.
Okay, cool, because you're like, I already beat these games, so how hard does it get next rank up? Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a good example, though, because that game's kind of designed for that.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of Capcom games are kind of have that...
Test your dick size after
you beat it.
They
have like a lot of replayability.
Then replay. Yeah.
I mean, like, shoot, Mega Man. Like, yeah, you beat Mega Man. Cool. Guess what? Can you go back and maybe do it without getting the armor upgrades, or maybe do it without getting all the hard containers?
For sure. So yeah, good, very good examples. Yeah. Cool.
But I remember being younger. One of my little goals that I would set myself back as a kid was I don't know if any of the other games later did this, but you know, Devil May Cry 1. If you died too many times, it would actually suggest.
Yes.
Hey, why don't you lower the difficulty?
There was a game like I want to say in the last year or two that did that, and Pat and Wooly were laughing because they remembered that.
Yeah.
Where it's literally like, yo, dude, you're not doing too hot. Maybe go to Weenie Hut Jr.
maybe go to Weenie Hut Jr.
Maybe. We're not saying you should.
But that would be my goal, is to get through the game without getting that message.
Since we're on the topic of it, I found this really interesting. And Mallory, we'll get to you. I'm not cutting out your section. I just wanted to ask Josh this while we're on the topic.
Okay.
How do you feel about stuff that derogatorily plays towards people who, like, in Doom and Wolfenstein, or especially in Wolfenstein, if you play on anything lower than normal, he literally has a baby bonnet and he's in a diaper and he has a little fucking binky and he's just like, there's like whatever fucking mode they call it, and it's just like, obviously they're just kidding. They're not being like, you're an actual, if you do not play on normal, you are a pussy. They're not really doing that. It's just out of good humor. How do you feel about difficulty modes? Because a few games, that's the only one that comes to mind, is just because Wolfenstein was so explicit. I think Duke Nukem and Doom have kind of derogatory names for their easier difficulties. I mean,
like, I remember when Spider-Man had kid mode.
Yeah, see stuff like that. Like, I think as long as there's no maliciousness behind it, where it's like they're literally bullying you to play a harder difficulty, I think it's fine. As long as it's an obvious joke.
I think it can work for games like Doom and Wolfenstein, because they're supposed to be like these big,
machismo games,
Yeah, so I can see
it kind of works in that context. Cis male. I
would think really the only people getting mad about it are probably like the very insecure,
right,
toxic masculine gamers.
Exactly.
You know?
Fuck you, man. I'm playing hard.
This
game sucks.
I'm a het white cis gamer and I'm offended.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise,
all in good fun.
Sure. I mean, I remember being younger and having to do the easier difficulty in Devil May Cry, because I was like, yeah, I am fucking dying a lot.
Depending on how young you are, it's a pretty hard game.
Yeah, I must have been like, what, 16 or 17 when I played it? I don't know. It was
the game I did the best in, that's not even incredible, it was probably 4. I probably did my best in 4.
Yeah, 4 is kind of
3
easy.
I definitely didn't do that good in. And 1 I did
difficult.
awful in. And 2 I barely played.
Try going through 3 using only Royal Guard.
Oh, fuck. Fuck
yeah. I remember 4 being pretty easy, but mainly because like Nero was busted as fuck.
Yeah. 5 I didn't do that good in either. I did alright.
Yeah, 5 is really good.
It's really good, though.
It's a good game.
I just didn't do, my scores weren't quite as high as, whatever. And DMC, I remember doing okay in DMC. I don't really count that as a Devil May Cry game. But yeah, I did okay in DMC. But yeah. Mallory, do you have a game experience or time that you ever play a game in harder than normal difficulty?
I go back to Diablo 3? Yeah. Diablo 3, because in that game, you like, you have to find loot, and you get better loot in the harder difficulties. So as soon as I would finish, like, the level, I would go back and put it on a harder difficulty to get better loot.
That's a really good example.
It was fun, but it definitely gave me that message that was like, hey, you've died a lot. I remember playing with my brother-in-law and him being like, hey, how about you stop that? And I was like, all right, dude, like, come on. Like, right now, I'm squishy. Like, leave me alone. But I don't really go back and play very many games and change the difficulty. I mean, when I was playing Call of Duty for a while, I would play on, like, hardcore mode, or zombies had a different, like, a harder mode and stuff like that, even though, you know, you're going up in waves.
Right.
You know, but I don't go back and play, like, I probably won't play Kingdom Hearts on a harder mode or anything like that. Once I get through the game, I'm pretty good with not doing that.
Fair enough, yeah, but it's interesting that you did give a couple of examples in games, and those are actually pretty good ones, because I didn't think about that. When I would play D&D online, because you would get better loot if you run it on hard or whatever the hell the difficulties were on there, that's true. Sometimes it was worth rerunning those dungeons on a harder difficulty. So I didn't think about that, so very good. You guys had awesome examples, so that actually inspires me to think
I
of more
remember
questions.
me and my... Thank you.
But you remember...
me and my brother used to play hardcore mode on Call of Duty, where literally you can't shoot your teammates.
Oh, God.
Or you can only shoot them, like, maybe twice, and then you're kicked.
Right.
So me and my brother would run around through this map, and we'd be on the same team, and straight up we'd just go after each other. And we were like, all right, this is what we're doing today. And, like, but, I mean, hardcore mode is a little different than, you know, normal mode, because you can shoot your teammates and it doesn't matter, but hardcore you're not allowed to.
Right. So yeah, there you go.
Like the real lives.
So yeah, guys, send it to that email that I didn't fuck up, the first and the third one that I did. So yeah, send it to those. Don't send it to the second one. I don't know what that was. But other than that, you can catch us, except for this week, every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And until the next episode, we will catch you guys then. Until then, see ya.
Bye!
This is John. Bye.
Boy.